Hello, everybody. It's Royce here. Let me move my mic a little bit. I want to welcome you all to my Royce in the House YouTube channel. This ought to be fun tonight. We're going to be covering a group of bands that came from the Birmingham, England area and the West Midlands nearby. Okay, that area became a very significant area that English music was coming from, and we'll talk about that. Been joined by a lot of great people here: Caitlin, Stephen Fox, George Pita, Oberheim, Tim Henry of Music's Live. Oh my gosh, we've had Dr. Insomnia in here. I've been looking at messages from him for a couple of hours now. Rockin' Robin Bird, Chris Elliott. This said George Pita, my good friend Dr. Rick. Yeah, Dr. Insomnia, George Pita. So anyway, folks, we're going to get into this a little bit here. And I won't have a co-host here probably for a couple more minutes. Michael Nolan usually comes in first and is next to me. Brian Bingham just joined us. Thanks, brother. Hey, Stormcop 55. Good to see you, man. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the great bands that came out of Birmingham and the West Midlands area in the late 60s and 70s. Okay, and well, you know, it's going to be hard to avoid the number one band, which is Black Sabbath, nor would I even want to avoid them, right? So I'll run through a little list of some of the bands what we can be sharing and discussing, and I'd like to hear from everybody in the chat just as well. So we're going to be talking about, you know, of course, Sabbath is arguably the most iconic band, pioneering heavy metal, and considered the godfathers of heavy metal. And so then we've got Electric Light Orchestra, Judas Priest, Traffic, the Spencer Davis Group, both of which were fronted by Stevie Winwood. Sorry, folks. Child Prodigy, what an amazing player. You know, half of these bands I've covered in the last 90 days, right? I mean, obviously, I've covered Ozzy numerous times, but I did a Stevie Winwood show a couple of months ago. I did a well, not Electric, but I did Moody Blues. I didn't do, I did Traffic, Spencer Davis Group, Moody Blues, of course, Sabbath. And you know what? We're throwing in Led Zeppelin, not because Led Zeppelin all came from Birmingham or necessarily the West Midlands, but Robert Plant and John Bonham did come from the Midlands, and they played often in Birmingham. Okay, so we're throwing in Led Zeppelin, all right? Yeah, they loved it. Okay, so getting back to Ozzy Osbourne, as we all know, Ozzy just played in his last concert on July 5th. Okay, and a wonderful show. I streamed it at my house. I paid for the streaming. Really enjoyed it. Oh, it's so touching watching Ozzy because, as you know, he had Parkinson's. It was really getting advanced. He'd broken up his back and spine in an ATV accident, fell in his own home, broke everything loose again, had to go straight to the hospital, operation after operation, 2023, 2024, cancer tours all getting canceled. And Ozzy had one dream, and I started covering this about a year ago, and Michael Nolan was with me. We were covering this, okay, on my show. But Ozzy had one dream. The last final concert tour of Black Sabbath did not include the original drummer, Bill Ward. They had some contractual disputes with the record label, from what I understand. So Bill Ward walked away, and Ozzy brought in his solo drummer, Tommy Clufetos, who's an amazing, way underrated drummer. Love Tommy Clufetos. He's way up at the top for me. So Ozzy brought him in. After all, he'd been playing all the Black Sabbath songs, touring with Ozzy for years. So he brought him in, and he picked it up from there. But as much as Ozzy loves Tommy, you know, his solo drummer, he wanted to play with the original group. One last final farewell, proper goodbye to the fans. He basically became obsessed with it. And it was probably a good thing. No one knew how this was going to turn out. It was only a month or so before the concert that Sharon announced Ozzy could no longer walk. Zakk Wylde joked that he was going to be in a flying throne and come in. know. He was in a throne, but I'm still trying to figure out how they were going to bring it in flying, unless it was hanging from some kind of cable. Might have been a little dangerous, you know. So anyway, they wheeled him out in a throne. He didn't fly in. I think Zach was trying to be funny, and it was funny. Some of us were wondering, but we didn't know what to expect. Was Ozzy going to even show up? And if he did, would he be able to perform? It wasn't that long ago. I was reading he was having a hard time even speaking because of the, the Parkinson's. Excuse me a minute, folks. I just got looks like a super chat from my dear buddy Storm Cop, and I got to make a note of that real quick. Storm Cop 55. Thanks so much, brother. Oh, wow, $20. Thank you, Storm Cop. And that is a super chat. And I give you a super thanks, man. I really, really appreciate it. You know, we do spend a lot of time putting these together. It usually consumes most of my Sunday. And my wife's not always thrilled to death over that. But what are you going to do, man? I'm committed. I want this show to be good. I want it to grow. I want the subscribers to get bigger, and you name it. Okay, we've got Dwayne Chamberlain out there. We've got my main man, Dr. Rick. Got Stephen Fox, Knucklehead Rock. Hey, how you doing, Knuckle? Rockin' Robin Bird. You know, I get so far behind in the chat, I just have to pick up someplace. I just saw Winslow Red Cross up here. Let me pull him up. You know, John Patterson, George Pita, Rockin' Robin Bird, Dr. Insomnia, Dave Wolotica. Okay, folks, we're pretty much caught up here. I'm not sure where Michael Nolan is. He was supposed to be here before now, so I've got a link waiting for him. The minute he shows up, we're bringing him on. Okay, he just finished a show on Black Sabbath, and we're going to be discussing more Black Sabbath. Okay, I just want to mention what I was talking about before, you know, we got the super chat, and I wanted to put that up on the screen. I was talking about the fact that Ozzy wanted as much trouble that he'd been having and how many shows he'd had to cancel 2023, 2024. He was obsessed with doing a final proper goodbye to his fans and thank them. So again, his wife announced a couple of weeks before the show he could no longer walk. His guitar player, Zach Wilde, joked that he was going to fly in on a flying throne. Sure. Hi, Angela. Hey, Ripster. How you guys doing? Piccolina's here. Winslow. Okay, so anyway, so Showtime showed up. Me and Michael were just kind of holding our breath. Is he going to be there? Is he going to make it through his set? He was supposed to start out hit some of his solo stuff first, then do some Black Sabbath songs. And he did. He made it through. And you know what? He sounded so good initially that I actually wondered if he was lip syncing. But once I'd listened to it several more times, he was struggling. And even Zach Wilde said Ozzy started to struggle with the singing. That's when I jumped up on the mic to be backup vocals to help out. But I loved it, man. I mean, what a farewell gift to the fans. Oh my God. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since it took place. Okay. So Ozzy, the concert was July 5th. Again, it was streamed worldwide. But if I'm not mistaken, there were 65,000 people in attendance live at the stadium, big soccer stadium. Okay, so, look at this. We got Michael Nolan chiming in. Hey, Michael. I'm putting a link up right now. Michael, I just put the link up to join the show. Thank you so much, Michael. I wasn't expecting this. You're my co-conspirator here. Thank you so much, brother. And then we've got Rockin' Robin Bird just came in with a super chat as well. So let me get Michael Nolan, $9.99. Rockin' Robin Bird, too. Awesome, guys. Sorry, I've got to write this down. Okay, Michael. Michael, thanks so much. Rockin' Robin Bird, power of two, like Michael always says. Really appreciate it, Ozzy really gave his all. Yes, he did. Rest in peace to a legend. I couldn't agree more. So that concert was held on July 5th, and we streamed it. We enjoyed it. It's been playing all over YouTube TV and stuff ever since it was held. So you can catch anybody you actually want to catch and rewatch it. And that's what we've been doing. I've rewatched numerous times Ozzy doing his set. So the link is up, Michael. The link is up, my brother. Okay, so it was pretty cool. Yeah, it really was. So, all right. So, God, it was only 17 days after the show that Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness that we all love, passed away. Okay, from everything. And there was a little bit of speculation. Did the strenuousness of the show hurt him, or did it actually keep him alive longer? Because I think Ozzy was sort of giving up. He was in so much pain. I was of the opinion, and I think most people were, that it was the upcoming show, that Obsession was saying a proper goodbye to his fans, and thank them. I was under the impression that prolonged his life. That kept him going. Even Sharon said, I scheduled this performance, this concert. I wanted Ozzy to have a reason to get up in the morning. Okay. That's what Sharon said. And boy, I tell you what, I go with that 100%. Now let's see. Let me put the link in one more time. Link to join. Okay, let me get this up there again. So the link to join the show is up. Let me oh my goodness, just the facts, man. The link to join the show is up. Look at that. Dan, thanks so much. Dan and I just did an interview with an amazing musician, Gurin. And we did that last week, and it really performed well. I mean, people really liked that. We asked questions, we were interviewing him, and then we had the chat provide questions later. And it was just a hell of a lot of fun. Paul Gurin, Choir Boys, Down and Outs, a number of bands, a number of very successful English bands. And what an amazing guitar player he was. Oh, man. He played slide guitar, regular guitar. He was always a lead guitar player in the bands, and just fantastic. And what a great and entertaining interview he was. He really was. Yeah, he really knocked it out of the park in that interview. So okay, so let's go on down. Yeah, we got a lot of people here. Jersey Devil has since joined. Caitlin's still here. PETA will join Royce. Okay, right on. Okay, so back to Ozzy. He did his concert, passed away afterward. Let's talk a little bit. You know what? You just can't avoid some focus on Ozzy at a time like this, aka the Prince of Darkness. Okay, he was one of the founding members of Black Sabbath, along with Tony Iommi, the guitar player, Geezer Butler, the bass player, and Bill Ward, the drummer. Okay, at the age of, they really struggled to get anything going. It was tough. At the age of 17, Tony Iommi, in his last day working at a machine shop, cut his middle finger and ring finger, cut the tips off him in the machine shop he was working in, and they told him, you'll never play guitar again. Well, he wasn't happy with that. He made some little plastic prosthetic caps for his fingers, and kind of had to change his style, a little heavier power chords and stuff. And it was like heavy metal was born from that situation. But when you think about it, this was all taking place in the backdrop of World War II in the Birmingham area. A lot of manufacturing took place there. A lot of buildings were bombed out there. They were building equipment for the war. Some of the hills were black with soot from the factories. And you know what? There wasn't a lot of promise for how your life was going to be. You were either going to work at a factory, or maybe if you really got lucky, you'd get chosen for some higher learning. Actually, Geezer Butler was chosen for higher learning, and he studied to be an accountant and actually became an accountant. And boy, was his parents mad when he quit to be in a rock band, because I mean, they struggled. Geezer Butler had a bass with 2 strings on it, initially. And they all struggled. They really, really had a hard time getting going, had a hard time even playing in some of the little clubs. And you know what? Ian Anderson, Jethro Tull, was around at the time. He goes, let me give you guys a hint. Hang out outside of the clubs where a band is supposed to play. And oftentimes, for one reason or another, the band doesn't show up. So once you see that a band hasn't showed up, which is somewhat frequent, walk in and say, hey, we'll take their place. And they started doing stuff like that. And they started getting some notice. They started to lay out a couple of heavier things. They were playing someplace, and the audience was loud. Nobody was paying a whole lot of attention. And I think they whipped out Black Sabbath from their first, what became later was their first album. And, with all that heavy guitar playing, heavy, dark riffing, Ozzy's voice. And he said, you could have heard a pin drop. Everybody stopped, their mouths dropped open, and they were standing there in awe, absolute awe, listening to this. So anyway, I think it was the night that Ian Anderson was supposed to play. He didn't show up. His band didn't show up. His guitar player had quit. So he walks up to the front of the stage. He's watching, it wasn't Black Sabbath then, it was still Earth. He was watching Earth play, and Tony Iommi, started riffing, and he looked over at Iommi. His eyes got big. He worked his way through the crowd and was staring at Tony Iommi, And what happened is Geezer Butler was like, oh no, I see what's going on here. His guitar player quit. He's going to try to steal our guitar player. I'm going to have to go back to be an accountant. He was all freaked out. Well, sure enough, Ian Anderson wanted Tony to come meet him and try out to be the guitar player for Ian Anderson, Jethro Tull. So anyway, Tony Iommi said, yeah, sure, I'll come down and try out. He was all excited about it. And so Geezer asked him later, he goes, you mind if I tag along? Just keep you company. And he was still inside. He was completely freaking out. The idea of going back to work in an accounting office somewhere and giving up on his dream to be a musician was just really haunting him. So anyway, one thing led to another, and Tony Iommi went down. He played for him. Ian Anderson hired him. They did one gig together, and they were going to go on an American tour, and he was going to get paid something like £5, whatever that is. But it was good money. I mean, compared to what they were making. So he was going to get paid £5. So he came back home. He quit Ian Anderson. And his parents said, are you out of your mind? £5 is good money. What's wrong with you? And so he came back and he goes, no, I'm going to make this work with my band. And he started practicing. But what he learned from Ian Anderson, you don't screw around, practice for an hour and a half, kid around and go home, drink some beer and go home. They practiced. When he was with Ian, he practiced 8 hours a day. It was like a full-time job practicing. He brought that discipline back to his band, okay? And they really started, things started popping then. They started getting a lot of recognition, and they started to take off, all right? And they started to become successful. When the band took off and became successful, I mean, they were killing it. I mean, they let so many great albums were released. I mean, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, the self-titled first album, Black Sabbath, Paranoid, Master of Reality, from like 70 to 78. All of a sudden, 1979 rolled around, and Ozzy was drinking so much. And I'm not going to focus on the negative. You have to say this to understand how good the positive is, okay? So Ozzy, hold on, folks. Hey, Chris.
Hey, good.
It's going well, man. Chris Elliott, folks. Co-host Chris Elliott is here. So anyway, Nolan was supposed to be here. Dan the man, you're supposed to be here, man. I put the link up. This is the third time. The link is up, Dan. Come join us, brother. Okay, so what I was saying was the band started to really come together. Ozzy was drinking too much, snorting too much cocaine. The band fired him in 1979. They paid him £96,000, I think it was. I have, yeah, £96,000. I'm not sure exactly how much that is in American money. It's probably close to $95,000, something somewhere in that range. Okay. So anyway, so they paid him that to pay him for his share of the band's name, Black Sabbath at the time. Well, ultimately Black Sabbath, right? So anyway, they paid him. Black Sabbath recorded their first album in 2 days, and that is huge because what a great album! I just listened to it again last week, along with um, another great. Well, Sabbath Bloody. No, not Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. What am I trying to think of? Master of Reality. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just listened to both of those last week. And I think I'm going to we'll listen to them both one more time before I put them away. Okay. So Ozzy gets fired. What does he do? He goes straight to a hotel room. He's holed up in there for something like 3 months. Finally, there's a knock on the door. Sharon Arden comes in. To Ozzy, they had met before a couple of years earlier because Don Arden was helping Black Sabbath on some things, working with them a little bit. And Sharon Arden was his daughter. So she got in there and she really got Ozzy straightened out, got him cleaned up, got him to back, I won't say quit, but back way off on the drugs and alcohol. He was going through all the money he got paid for his share of the band, going through it pretty quickly. And anyway, so she convinced him, Ozzy, you've got talent. You need to start a solo career. And so they got the solo career together. They released as a single Crazy Train. I love that song, Crazy Train, from Blizzard of Oz, and then they released Blizzard of Oz not too much after that, then Diary of a Madman. And I mean, they released a whole lot of solo albums. And as far as I'm concerned, I love Black Sabbath with Ozzy. They were unbeatable. But when it came to the solo career, they kind of eclipsed what Black Sabbath was doing for sales and stuff, you know. And, they reduced, oh my God, they produced 13 studio albums, 5 live albums, 7 compilations, 5 extended plays, 65 singles, 9 video albums, and 41 music videos. Ozzy solo did. Okay.
Wow.
Now that doesn't blow your mind. It sure does mine. Blizzard of Oz in 1980 reached number 7 on the UK albums chart, 8 in the Canadian albums chart, and 21 in the US Billboard 200. And singles like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley, they reached the top 50 in the UK singles chart. So I mean, there's all kind of accolades for his solo career. It was wonderful, and they had, I got Diary of a Madman. I've got, Bark at the Moon. I've got Crazy Train. I mean, I've got Patient Number 9. I've got some other stuff too, and there's more that I want to get. I've got a pretty big collection of Sabbath albums, but I don't have all of them. And I love Black Sabbath. I actually loved Ozzy solo. To me, there were some great singers that came along after Ozzy, but as far as Ronnie James Dio one,
Yes.
as far as I'm concerned, Black Sabbath was never ever again as good as it was with Ozzy. To me, he was the voice of Black Sabbath. Now I'm sure there's plenty of people that don't agree with me, and that's fine. I don't expect everybody. James Dio had an amazing voice. He was a very technical singer, a very talented man. And I have one of the albums with him in it. Black Sabbath albums. I have one of them, and also have a solo album of his too. But anyway, that's what happened, and great band.
I think Royce froze. Yes. Heaven and Hell is a great album, Stephen. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well,
Well,
how long was I gone? I just disappeared.
you were gone about You're about 30 seconds. I didn't know what to say.
Okay. Yeah, no, that happened to me once last week too. It's really kind of starting to freak me out. Royce did freeze up. Yeah, well, I was gone. My screen went blank. I had to go relog into StreamYard and work my way back here. I'm sure glad I was able to do that in a timely manner. Sure glad I was able to do it, period. Okay.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of other bands that hailed from Birmingham and the West Midlands. A lot of great bands, actually. And so we want to talk a little bit about some of them. And let's see. Hold on, folks. I'm digging things out here. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Michael Nolan. Something, maybe he's probably having
It's under the
probably
weather.
just like me, he's having technical difficulties because he disappeared for a minute when I was watching him earlier. So I don't know what's going on.
What's that?
Get a little bit of chat comments here. Stephen Fox, did you see Ozzy on the other side? No, not yet. I'm sure that's coming, Stephen. So
Nobody needs to hurry.
okay, so like I said, even though Led Zeppelin, they're on my list. They played a lot in Birmingham. John Bonham was from the West Midlands, and so was Robert Plant. And I even did a video. You know, they were all friends. Let me tell you a story. If you go to my channel and type in the Lost Jam Session, I have a video I made, Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, the Lost Jam Session. They actually jammed together. And Ozzy was like, fuck me, I know why they're really here. They want us to sign up to their record label. They were signing people up to the Swan Song record label. But they jammed together. Geezer Butler in his book, Into the Void, said the tapes were somewhere. The tapes were rolling. They captured it. And now that they are supposed to be releasing some tapes, I'm just hoping as they dig through the tapes, it's like, what is this? Oh, my God, this is the stuff we did with Zeppelin. You know, I just, oh my God, what a dream that would be if they could find that. So that would be amazing. So yeah, Dwayne Wolonica saying the Spencer Davis Group and Traffic and Moody Blues,
Moody Blues.
except for Justin Hayward and ELO are all great examples. And you know what? Every darn one of those are on my list. Okay, Moody Blues, The Move, Electric Light Orchestra, Judas Priest, Traffic, Spencer Davis Group, the Wizzard, they all hail from that region, and they established that region as a significant contributor to British rock music. Okay, so again, talked about Led Zeppelin. Not only do I have the Lost Jam Session as a video that you can go watch on my channel, I have another one that's a lot of fun. You know, John Bonham, Led Zeppelin's drummer, was the best man at Tony Iommi's wedding. I don't know. Let that soak in for a minute, okay? And they went out to celebrate. You know, it was the stag night. They were out drinking, and they walked into a bar at something like 2 o'clock in the morning. And the bartender said, "Hey, we're getting ready to close." And so John Bonham, already pretty lit, says, "I want 16 bottles of champagne all the way down the counter here, the bar." And so the bartender pops the top off 16 bottles of champagne. And homie goes, "What are you doing? I'm getting married in the morning. I can't drink anymore. I'll never be able to go." Bonham drank them all, as the story goes. And so, you know, Iommi's helping Bonham home. They come to his gated entrance, and they're calling out, and his wife's yelling back, "You're not coming in. You're drunk. You're not coming in." And so Iommi kind of pleaded with her, "Come on, you know, please, I'm getting married in the morning. He's my best man. He's got to get in and get some sleep. Or it's going to ruin the wedding." In fact, I renamed the show something about, did John Bonham ruin Tony Iommi's wedding?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so just to see if that would, I mean, it's a big show. It's gotten, I don't know, thousands and thousands of views. And it's a fun show to watch. So, okay. So Iommi gets him in there. He leans him up against the heater in his bedroom, and he's looking at him, and he goes, "Hey, man, you going to be all right?" And Bonham looks at him and goes, "Yeah." And so Iommi leaves, and he goes to the book. According to the book, you know, Geezer Butler's book, Into the Void. Iommi was shocked. It was like Bonham was the first one there. Man, got his tux on, the corsage, hair all slicked back, in fine form after all that drinking. And so the wedding went perfectly. It was a fantastic time. Okay. So anyway, so that's the relationship with Led Zeppelin, his connection with Black Sabbath, their connection with Black Sabbath, their connection with Birmingham, the West Midlands area. Okay. So anyway, so moving on here, we've got a bunch of these. We've got the Moody Blues, of course, were known for their progressive rock, which continued to get even more psychedelic with time. I have something like 8 or 9 Moody Blues albums. I had some duplicates. I sent them to people. Anybody got anything you want to say, Chris, about the Moody Blues? Great music. Nights in white satin.
Nights in White Satin. That was my parents' wedding song, so I don't know how much else I can say. Like,
oh yeah,
I've had a connection ever since.
Hey, I just saw Michael Nolan. We're gonna put the link up again.
I think he mentioned earlier in the chat that he wasn't able to make it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, Michael, there's a link up if you can hop on and join Chris and I. Yeah, so got a link up there for you, brother. Okay.
Yeah, I just put it in the chat.
Hit that subscribe button, thumbs up button, folks. Did I stutter? Yes, please, everybody. You don't know how much this means to hit that like button. That like button can send the show into the stratosphere. The algorithm, you get a minimum of 50 likes, and it's in increments of 50. They're like milestones. You get 50 likes right off the bat, like even before the show's over. You wind up getting, your show gets presented. That's what the algorithm does. When you're surfing YouTube and there are shows popping up, that's the algorithm. And if a show's got a lot of likes and it was popular, that may be one of the shows they present to you to look at. So your show grows. When you do that, when you get the 50 likes and beyond, your show does grow. Okay, Michael Nolan. Yeah. Okay. Dwayne, also Peter Green, rest in peace from that area too. Yes, correct. Knucklehead Rock, Moody Blues are in my top 5 classics. They're a great band. I like I said, I did a Moody Blues live podcast. It couldn't have been 8-9 weeks ago. Showed all my albums, talked about them. We discussed the band. Hi, I'm one of us. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So anyway, here we are. We're talking about some of the other bands like the Moody Blues. Then the Move. The Move, not everybody knew who the Move was, especially over here. It was a popular British rock band formed in Birmingham in 1965. And they were known for their energetic performance, theatrical stage presence. Okay. So I don't know much about the Move. If there's somebody in the chat. Okay, yep. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
I haven't had anything from here in a while.
Okay, go for it.
So I don't have anything already pre-thought of, so I'm just going to read it fresh.
Okay, that's fine.
Formed in 1965 as an amalgamation of artists from Birmingham bands. Since the 5 were they knew each other. They already accomplished musicians. They were also helped in no small way by the fact that they signed to Tony Secuta's management. I don't know who that is, but
I don't either. There's so many people out there doing all this.
Just list Night of Fear was their, I don't know, it must be their debut album or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Doesn't seem to have much. It's just talking about all the records.
Not much there. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's okay. All right. So we're going to move on here then. And Dwayne Wolotica says the Hellions too, pre-traffic. Okay. Well, was Stevie Winwood in the Hellions? That I don't know. I'd like to know if Stevie Winwood was in that. Okay, so the next band I'll bring up is Judas Priest, who played at the Back to the Beginning concert that was held on July 5th. That we streamed. Most of us streamed it, I guess. Anyway, and I thought they did a really good job. I didn't like every single band that played. There were some that were some that they could have done without. Go ahead, Chris. What do you got to say?
Just reading through the rest of the Move. I didn't. We were talking about ELO. I guess this band kind of started, kind of morphed into ELO.
Yes. Okay, that's right.
It says the Move sought unsuccessfully to overthrow Roy Wood.
Okay.
To think in terms of an outfit which could combine classical rock music the Electric Light Orchestra.
Right.
Though he had conceived and named the band long before the idea came into fruition, Jeff Lynne joined the band because ELO was upcoming and took the place of Wayne, who was the original vocalist for The Move.
Right.
Yeah, he left her, and then.
Well, and a side note to that is The Move scored 20 UK singles in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
But were among the most popular nine top 20 UK singles, but were among the most popular British bands not to find any real success in the United States. Okay.
Yeah.
Carl Wayne was the lead singer of the group, with Roy Wood also a member. But so, okay, go ahead if you have anything else you'd like to say.
Yeah, basically it says the band had been racked all through with contractual problems and differences of opinions over the direction the group should take musically, and their albums had not sold well in Britain. They were all pleased to call it a day. They all went on to ELO, at last recreating their stage sound in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but Wood was already festering an idea for a parallel group, the Wizards. So Wizzard was kind of also an offshoot of The Move.
Yeah, the Wizzard was, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I just want to say to Dr. Insomnia, yeah, we just mentioned that Move became ELO. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Wood left for Wizzard, and he eventually left ELO in Lynn's capable hands and hit the rock and roll festival bandwagon. Yeah. So I never heard of them before.
Right on.
That's obviously a pretty.
No, I actually hadn't either. Then we also had hailing from Birmingham or the West Midlands, the Spencer Davis Group and Traffic.
Yes.
Both fronted by the amazing child prodigy Stevie Winwood. God damn, was that guy good, man. Okay, then we have let's see. We talked about the Moody Blues. We talked about Led Zeppelin. Two of the members were from the area. Another band named Slade. Two local bands have two of the best-selling UK singles of all time. Come On, Eileen, and Dexy's Midnight Runners is a 48th best-selling single of all time, with Slade's Merry Christmas Everybody, the 69th. The members of Slade all hail from the West Midlands, the area we're featuring tonight, along with Birmingham, with lead singer Noddy Holder from Walsall and Dave Hill from Wolverhampton. They formed in '67, rose to prominence during the glam rock era in the early, achieving 17 consecutive top 20 hits and 6 number ones on the UK singles chart. That's very impressive. Very impressive. Another band I want to mention is the Rockin' Berries, best group from Birmingham, who had several hit records in the UK in the 60s. They were one of the best. Okay. They were originally formed as a beat group at Turves Green School in the 50s. An early keyboard player with the group was Christine Perfect, later Christine McVie. McVie of Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac, of course. Okay. Well, that was pretty damn interesting. Okay. Did you mention Wizard of Oz a little while ago, Chris?
No, just the Wizards.
The Wizards. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There was another band, Wizard of Oz. They were psychedelic, had to be psychedelic pop band from the 60s. The band formed in January '68 in Birmingham by Chris Evans, David Rea, who recruited David Kubanik, and Tony Clarkson. Their song "The Muffin Man" was released on May 3rd, '68. It was a minor hit in the UK. So it doesn't sound like they made too big of a splash. Okay. All right. So Traffic, of course, we already brought up Traffic. We already mentioned Slade. Let's see. I didn't have that big of a list, Electric Light Orchestra, morphed into Electric Light Orchestra. And let's see. Do I have anything else here? No, let's just kind of have a discussion with the chat, okay? All right. What do we got here in the chat? Let's see. Caitlin says, beat group. Groovy Lisa. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you, Lisa. Caitlin Stoddard, Lisa. Dwayne Walotica. I did see Fleetwood Mac live. I didn't. I'm really sorry I didn't. They're still putting a lot of stuff out and re-putting things out. The band I manage. Okay, check this out. Just the Facts Man. Dan, our good friend and usual co-host, if for some reason he didn't want to join tonight. Your regular co-host, you're always welcome. The band I managed was friends with Judas Priest drummer Scott Travis. I got to hang out with Judas Priest.
Right.
2 different shows. Wow, that's great. That's great. Now, was that let's see, was that Askew? What's his name? I can't think of his name right now. We actually interviewed him twice on my show. Great guy. What a great interview, Dan. There was, or was that? Oh man, my mind's just going blank. I think it's been a long day, folks. Robin, that's awesome, Dan. Yeah, it is awesome. Yeah, Dan knows a lot of people. Dan knows a lot of people in the music industry. He's participated with a lot of bands. Askew, of course, Vinnie Paul, and Dimebag Darrell, Pantera. Dan was really good friends with particularly Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul, his brother, the drummer. But yeah, Aska. Okay, it was the band Aska. Yeah, we have a couple of video interviews with Aska, and what a great time! It was their lead guitar player, and Dan. I wish you were here. We could share some pretty wild stories. If you're still considering it, I'll put the link up one more time. No pressure. But the lead singer of Aska, they got a contract to go to all these American military bases all over the world, okay, and to perform at them, and they were getting paid very well. And he was releasing albums with Aska and 2 or 3 other bands he played guitar and sang on. So he was pretty heavily involved in the music scene. But one of my favorite stories that he told me is they went to Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia, the women wear robes, their faces are covered. And these guys are all up there with real long hair and tight jeans. And they were looking at these guys like they were women, women that they were interested in, And boy, the way he told the story, it was just we were all rolling on the ground. It was so damn funny. Dan and I were. Stephen Winwood was only 15 when Mino Frisco was used for an audition for a recording contract in 1964. Now, I'm not sure what that is. It sounds like a motorcycle taking off right outside your window. Did you hear that? Oh, it's okay,
Yeah,
Dan.
Every once in a while, somebody likes to just rip it up over here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, my motorcycles are always kind of loud too. Remember Stevie Winwood? Now, Stevie Winwood started playing with his dad and his brother when he was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And they took the piano, turned it around to where his back was to the audience, trying to hide just how young he was,
Yeah, it's similar to, in a way, to what the Beatles used to do with George Harrison, having to sneak him in too in the early days.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. George Harrison was the youngest, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, was Ringo the oldest? I know he was older than Paul.
Ringo,
yeah, okay.
I've heard stories that Ringo was, as being older, that he was kind of brought in to be the big brother to keep the other guys in line. However, that worked out, I don't know.
I don't know either. Maybe it worked out good. Yeah. Boy, that was a tall order to keep the other guys in line.
Yeah, no kidding. Considering Ringo was kind of a fun guy himself when it comes to pranks and all that too. So,
PETA, it wasn't me. We got to get rid of that comment quick. Okay, James Watson, how you doing, brother? Trivia question. Name Stevie Winwood's brother. God, that is a trivia. Frank?
I don't know.
I mean, I've read it before. I've even had it in a story that I told.
I remember that's actually how I know it was from the story you told, but I'm blanking on it too.
Gonna go clothes shopping. Well, that's not fair. I want to go. Stevie Ray Vaughan was underage playing at clubs too. Yes, he was. Oh my God. What an animal on the guitar he was. Playing with the high E string, the skinniest string on the neck was a 13. And most guitar players 9, maybe 10. The lighter they are, the easier they slide, but the easier they break as well. And he played with 13, so every string above that was larger, of course. So, oh my goodness. Some people say you just get better tone from fatter strings. Go ahead.
Says Steve Winwood's brothers, Mervyn Muff Winwood.
Mervyn what?
Muff, M-U-F-F.
Okay. Muff Winwood. Mervyn Muff Winwood. Okay.
Yeah, he played the bass in Spencer Davis.
Okay, Dwayne got it too. Dwayne Melodica, Muff Winwood. Yeah. Wow. Dr. Insomnia, Muff Winwood. Look at that. Just the facts man, Muff Winwood. I'm going to type in Muff Winwood. James Watson, right on. Junior Johnson. Leon Russell was playing in bar. Oh, Leon Russell was incredible. Yes. Yeah. I was a big fan of, even going back to being a teenager, I was a fan of Leon Russell. Everybody was. Yeah. Had such great songs. And what a talent.
And he could play with Winwood name. And he was so talented, he could play with anybody. He could be anywhere. Somebody was on stage. It didn't matter what genre of music they were playing. He would be able to join them and make it better.
Oh, yeah.
Just with his presence and just everything.
I think he did a lot of session work, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that gets talked about much, but.
Well, the fact that he's so well respected by his peers kind of just speaks for itself, I think.
Right. Yeah, Tim Henry just brought up one of his favorite British musicians was Steve Marriott. Steve Marriott, the first guy to be offered the job of singing by Jimmy Page for Led Zeppelin. And Don Arden was the manager, Sharon Osbourne's daddy. And he said to Jimmy Page, how'd you like to play with your fingers all broken? Or play guitar with your fingers broken? And so that ended that potential there. Mm-hmm. So then he went to Terry Superlungs Reid, Terry Reid, who had a great bluesy voice, very popular. And he was getting ready to leave on a tour of the United States, and I think opening for the Rolling Stones and maybe Joe Cocker too. I mean, this was like the biggest tour of his life. Jimmy Page offered to pay him what he was going to make on those tours if he just came with him instead to do some concert dates for the Yardbirds, which he had branded the new Yardbirds to go do those concert dates. He was kind of the last man standing at the Yardbirds, so he picked up the name and tried to put a band together to go fulfill those concert dates. So anyway, that's a whole nother show that I've actually done probably twice. Same with Michael Nolan and us together. But if there's anybody here that has not subscribed to Michael Nolan, the bottom line, please go subscribe to him and, drop into his show too. If you're a subscriber and you haven't been over there in a while, drop in and watch Michael's show. It's always enjoyable. It was really, really good tonight. Really good. And I never miss it. And he's usually on the panel here with me every time, but he's not feeling good. And I understand that. I wasn't feeling good earlier. Had all kinds of things go wrong with my computers. I have a computer on the other desk that hasn't been used for a while. My wife went to go on there and start using it again, and her email had disappeared, and we screwed with that for like what seemed like hours. And then there was things missing on my email, namely just being able to get to it. So we were really struggling in here for a long time. I was so frustrated. It really cut into my studying for the show and everything. Man, was I frustrated. But anyway, so like I said, Michael Nolan, fastest growing YouTube channel I know, 46,000+ views. Very, very popular. Everybody likes his show that goes to it. Go ahead and go to his show if you haven't been yet, and certainly subscribe when you get there. And I would like to make an impassioned plea to anybody that's in the chat that hasn't subscribed. And as everybody knows, you get X amount of views during the show. By the next day, the day after, you've got 3 times that many views. So there will be people watching later. If you enjoy the content, go check out our playlist. We've got Rock and Roll Chronicles and rock and roll deep dives and all this stuff. And there's some other shows that have nothing to do with music, but these are the big shows, the music shows. We have shows, tours of famous places where we go to Haight-Ashbury, where we go have dinner at Clint Eastwood's ranch up in Monterey, Mission Ranch, and then go down to the Hog's Breath Inn where Clint owned that for 27 years and sold it to a friend of his. What a fun time at the Hog's Breath Inn we had. And I was filming the whole thing. It's in my video. Kidding around with the people. Thanks. Oh no, you rock, Michael. Thank you. So I've got some fun touring videos as well. And of course, being a contractor and a real estate agent, I have a little playlist on both of those, but they're not mixed in with the music stuff. The music stuff is my passion, like what we're doing tonight. So anyway, if you're not a subscriber, you're watching the show later, watching the show now, please hit that subscribe button. A notification bell will pop up. Hit the top one, the dark one. You'll get a one-time notification of any new show that's coming on. So you'll be sure to, not miss that one. So anyway, yes, sir.
Just James just threw it in the chat there that Lonnie Anderson died today. Earlier,
I heard that right before I came in the office. Lonnie Anderson, right. Yeah.
But another one, and since we're talking about Birmingham, if I remember correctly, the original singer from Iron Maiden passed away. I'm not sure.
I heard that. I heard something like that too. Yes, it was Iron Maiden.
Yeah, not Bruce Dickinson, but the original one.
Okay.
Before they even had any recordings out, I think he left.
Yeah. Do you have Iron Maiden music?
I have only one, just their Live After Death.
Yeah. I don't have any of their albums right now, and I don't even want to say why. It's a long story, but I wound up with some of their albums and a lot of other albums, and they kind of wound up disappearing out of my garage. There was a bag of about 50 albums. We bought a house that we were going to tear down and put 12 houses on that big lot. And it was crazy trying to get the people out of there. This is we're going to kind of just open it up to talk about whatever. So we were going to do right on. We were going to do a 12-house subdivision. And there was some biker guy, a nice guy, but he let everybody that wanted to live there. I mean, there were people living outside in the barn, urinating in like 1-liter Pepsi bottles. I'm not going to tell you what they were doing in the 5-gallon Home Depot buckets. Not hard to imagine. Anyway, it was like crazy trying to get all those people out of there. You'd get them out, and then you'd come back, and somebody would go, "Hey, there's something moving over there," and there's all this stuff piled in the shed, and you'd pull a couple of blankets and things out of the way, and here's a guy who'd been hiding in there. He'd been living there for years. He didn't have any place else to go. And the mailbox across the streets where they all got their checks, whatever they were, welfare checks, whatever. But anyway, I'm not judging. Okay. I think I have $15 to my name at the moment. Anyway, so to make a long story short, we finally got all those people out. There was about 20 cars. We ran, went through the proper channels to get all the cars registered in our name and just gave them away to a salvage yard. We don't want to deal with them. So there was a little boat there with a nice little boat trailer. Would have been perfect for an inflatable. I used to have an inflatable. We used to take out, around Point Conception, take it out surfing to this pristine, hallowed surf grounds. You could only get to by boat. We'd take my raft out there, and you're always looking for a nice little still trailer, And there was one of those with a boat on. I was thinking about taking that trailer, and came to work one morning. This was before we demoed the house and everything. And the boat was laying there with the rope tied to it and tied to the fence, and they pulled the trailer out from underneath it. Somebody just stole the trailer. It was pretty comical. Anyway, enough of all that. And so what are we doing now? I'm getting ready to start a big addition to my next door neighbor's house. I hope to be starting next week. I'm going to go see them tomorrow. This has been more than 2 years in the works. We finally have building permits and waiting for us downtown. Going to pay the school fees, the building permit fees. I don't know how many of you guys are from California or what you know about costs in California, but a 900 square foot addition to a house, $5,000 in school fees. And what we're building for them is a classrooms. They homeschool. They got to pay $5,000 in school fees. Of course, they could sell it. They could sell the house. Somebody with 10 kids would move in that isn't being homeschooled. Who knows? So they want to keep their bases covered. Anyway, then the building permit fees are almost as much, and it just never ends. It just never ends. And so, go ahead, Chris.
I'm going to turn this back to music for a second here.
Yes, go for it.
Just anybody familiar with some Canadian rock? Sass Jordan was born in Birmingham, England, although she moved when she was a kid to Montreal, Canada. But she's a hard rock singer. I have a couple of her CDs.
Right on. I was a fan of the.
I always thought she was Canadian, but I just found out reading up on some of the bands. But she was actually born in Birmingham, England.
Okay. Well, the Specials, Dr. Insomnia. Dr. Insomnia is very, very knowledgeable. I really appreciate him. The Specials are from Birmingham. Now, I hadn't come across them yet. Were they a pretty big band over in England? Because a lot of times there's bands that become big in England that don't become big here, just the way it is.
Yeah, this is just that I'm talking about it. For Sass Jordan, this is probably your best album. It's called Rat. It's called Rat.
Rat. Okay.
Yeah. But
that cover looks kind of familiar.
Could be. But the High Road Easy is probably the most famous song in there.
Okay.
Although Damage, there's a few good songs in there.
What is it? Just blues-based rock or?
Kind of blues.
More pop. Okay.
More hard rock blues, kind of.
Okay.
Alternative, kind of, just.
Right. So George Pita knows about the Specials. Yes, Sass Jordan was born in Birmingham. Great artist.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, awesome. I'll have to check into that. Sass
Jordan. I have a couple of her CDs. There's another one. I think that was one of her earlier ones.
Okay. Dr. Insomnia. Why are you taping my phone calls? Are you planning a bootleg LP? That's funny.
Okay.
Terry Hall died not too long ago. Okay. I love the chat, man. We have Dr. Insomnia, George, Dwayne, George Pita. I mean, just a great bunch of people in here. James Watson, Douglas. I mean, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have these guys in the chat, guys and gals, not just guys, everybody. We have what we call analyticals. You go study your show. What's it doing right? What's it doing wrong? And they say my audience is 88% male and 12% female. It's kind of a bummer, I'd like to have more women on the show. They bring a whole nother perspective and insight sometimes, and I just enjoy seeing them here and enjoy interacting with them and stuff like that. And then they say I have, I think 68% of my audience is from America, 3% from Canada, and 2% from the UK. And then the rest of them are spread out over all the nations of the world. That's why it's only 68% US, because, there's somebody in Brazil or somebody in, Panama or who knows, anywhere in the world, Africa. One time it gave me sort of a more detailed, insight. And it was really interesting for some of the names that popped up. And it even showed me having a lot more younger viewers, even, And look at that, 3%er. I've heard of 1%ers and I've heard of 2%ers. I don't know what a 3%er is. 68%. Hooray. Okay, what 3%? That's my Canada percentage of viewers. Man, like I said, I must be getting tired here. Rockin' Robin Bird. Thank you, Rockin' Robin Bird, for being here. I really appreciate it. Love my chat. Love when the women come on. Caitlin's here. Rockin' Robin Bird's here. Angela was here earlier. And that means a lot to me. I thought it would be one, James. Okay. So Caitlin
back up here once in a while.
Yeah, you know what? Let me just say this about Caitlin. Probably most, if not everybody, know that Caitlin has a live podcast that goes twice a week, and she does a really good job. She actually writes for people and goes to concerts and writes up the concerts and stuff. She's kind of a journalist. She's a journalist, a college-educated journalist, and she's got a great show. And she does her homework, and I try to make every one of her shows. I mean, a lot of them are on while I'm at work and I can't watch them all. Sometimes I can't watch any of them. Oh, good. Angela's still here. I'm still here, Royce. Thank you, Angela. Good to see you still here. Thank you. But Kate goes twice a week and try to make it to all of them myself. I can't always. Sometimes I'm on a noisy job site. There's no way to listen on a noisy job site. And sometimes I'm on in a quieter location.
Hey, Royce, throw it a link for Nick. Nick just joined us in the chat.
Okay. Hey, Novice Nick, if you'd like to jump on for a little bit, we'll be on for a little longer, especially if you join us.
Yeah.
The link is up, my man. The link is up. Funny, I just don't see it, though. Restricted to level up. Where is the link?
You got it right at the bottom.
Okay.
It's out there.
Okay, I see it now. Yeah, okay, good. So anyway, I just wanted to mention once again, Caitlin Stoddard. It's called Caitlin's Magical Corner. She's got a good show. She does a bang-up job. She does her homework. And I want to recommend that everybody go to Caitlin's Magical Corner. She streams twice a week, and it's live, and she has a live chat. Okay, so here we go. We've got Michael Nolan. We are family. Hey, yeah. I got all my sisters and brothers with me. That's right. We are family.
That's right.
I got all my sisters and brothers with me. I was going to. Hey, Michael, we were talking the other day. We're going back and forth a little bit on Messenger. I was going to start one of my messages with that old bluesy soul song. They smile in your face all the time. They want to take you a place. The backstabbers. I was going to start one of my videos to you with that. It's an inside joke. Pickle into the cat. I always thought Sass Jordan was born in Montreal. I stand corrected. Where was she born?
In Birmingham, England.
Oh, God dang.
Yeah, and then somebody mentioned it in there. I forgot how, but 3 years old was when she moved there. I knew it was just a kid.
Okay. Angela. Kate's show is fun. Yes, it is. And I see you there, Angela. She and James do a good job, and we have a fun time. That's right. It is a fun show, and it's starting to grow more now. And it'll be cool when it blows up because people will enjoy it. It is fun. Michael Nolan's always over there when I go, and we just like to support Kate, but we like to support her. But we also enjoy that it is a good and entertaining show. Kate Stoddard. Caitlin's Magical Corner. Let's don't forget Just the Facts Man, our good friend Dan, who's under the weather tonight as well. But no worries, Dan. You guys get better, you and Michael. So Just the Facts Man Dan has a great channel. Check him out. He's got a lot of connections in the old rock world, and winds up coming up with an interview every so often with a famous person. We interviewed. Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad. We interviewed Paul Gurin from Down and Outs. And okay, what do you got there?
Just mentioned somebody from her.
Oh, okay, right on.
She's got a song called Birmingham, but it's more, I think, Birmingham. Is it Alabama or Birmingham? Yeah,
Birmingham. I think Alabama. Yeah, one of them places.
James just mentioned that CD. I just popped up.
Oh, okay. You got a real mixed bag there, don't you? Okay, well, looks like Novice is going to pop on for a minute.
Hey,
Novice, what do you got to say for yourself, stranger?
Oh, not a whole lot. Glad to be here. Just running, trying to make the. Oh wait, thought I closed that.
Last time I saw you, you were driving down,
Yeah,
Highway 101, and the poles were going by.
I was. Seems like life's going by so fast. Had too many irons in the pot.
Well, it was that night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, look at this. James Watson says, Caitlin is nothing but love and positivity as she throws pencils at my head.
So, James, I guess, does that mean if she likes you, the pencils are dull? If she doesn't, they're sharp? I don't know.
What's talk it to me? Which show?
I throw for Reese.
Which show was
Uh,
that? Sock it to me.
let's see. Who was that? Sock it to me. I don't know. I remember the song. Sock it to me, sock it to me, sock it.
Oh yeah,
Sock it to me, baby.
wasn't that with Geraldine?
I don't remember any of that.
Okay. Come on, you're older than I am.
I think I was in junior high when that song was a hit. I don't know. Angela Laugh-In. Was that what it was on the Rona Martin Laugh-In? Is that what it was?
Yep, sure was.
Okay.
Nice job.
Oh yeah, that's right. They used to say that.
Yep.
Rona Martin.
Now I'm ratting myself out, right?
Hey, you said it, not me.
Yeah,
no spring chicken here.
That was a fun show. So Nick, did you hear any of the show on the Birmingham bands and the West Midland bands from England?
No, and I couldn't tell you who's from where. I'm lucky I know where I came from. I just didn't have a whole lot to contribute on that point. I just wanted to come up and say hi, miss you guys.
Okay, right on.
Life's been busy.
Life gets busy. I know should be starting a new job real soon, and
if I can
I'll be
add
burning the midnight aisle.
This and that to it.
Oh yeah,
I need everybody to hit that thumbs up for us.
The like button, people. The like button, and smash that subscribe button while you're at it. If you haven't already.
It costs you absolutely nothing to do it.
And here's one of the main things that Michael Nolan likes about. I'm kidding. One of the main things. She gives him permission to eat his Mrs. Toad's cookies. What's not to love? I hear that.
Sometimes it
Aretha Franklin, respect. Sock It To Me was in that too. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we have Tacitus Jones, Jimmy Castor Bunch, Troglodyte song. Oh, that's interesting.
I know that.
Wow, Tacitus Jones. I think I've seen you. I think I've seen you in the chat before. Do me a proper, hit that thumbs up button, the like button, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. Help us keep growing. We've had a growth spurt, and then of course after every growth spurt becomes a growth drought. They don't usually last too long. You go up, you drop down a couple. You go up, and you're like, okay, good. Then you drop down 3 instead of 2. There's nothing you can do.
You take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Eventually, you're going to get there.
You're going to get there. And you know what? That's
because opposites attract and all that, right? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You guys just dated yourself. I just dated myself to the 80s. So, I mean, I think we're okay there. We're all even.
80s.
Hey, wait. I gotta get Caitlin Stoddard here. Caitlin, I have a message up from Junior Johnson. Does anyone have a link to Caitlin's channel? Caitlin, put a link up, please.
She has already.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, when it's a good thing, you do it again, right?
For sure.
Absolutely.
Jimi Hendrix, Wild Thing at Monterey Pop. Sock It To Me one time.
Yeah, all you guys. Caitlin, I think, was one of the first ones I subbed to, along with you, Royce, and Michael, and Dan, and all of you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, Caitlin's definitely
David. Yep.
Unfortunately, her show's on when I'm always busy in the middle of the afternoon, but I watch as much as I can after the fact.
No, I try to get in when I can, but it's usually during some of my work hours too. 12 thumbs up away from a bump for Royce, folks. Thank you, Michael.
Absolutely.
Thanks for letting everybody know. We Tim Henry of Music Life, night all. Okay, good night, Tim. Thanks for showing up. Good to see you. And Tim is also a fan over there at Caitlin's show. I see him every time. Okay, young man. Here is Caitlin Stoddard's link.
All right.
Junior? Yeah, it was Junior. Junior Johnson. Caitlin has a link up, buddy.
That's weird.
Diddy had a song called Socks and Me.
Jeez.
Diddy. Oh, my God.
A sad case of affairs.
Scott Dennison. Kate Stoddard. Give subs to Tim, very knowledgeable man. Tim Henry, there you go. Yeah,
Yes.
I subbed Tim Henry a long time ago. I sub everybody. You come on Michael's show, my show, Kate's show,
Yeah.
any other show that I watch. Dan, just the facts man. I will sub you up, man. That's just you're watching the shows. All my people. You're a brother or a sister. I will sub you up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not stingy with my subbing. I must have thousands of people I've subbed to be perfectly honest with you.
And what's it cost you? Nothing.
Nothing.
Kind of thing.
That's why
Hey,
it's odd. That's why it's odd when you drop 2 or 3 or even more if you have a lot more. Yes, thank you, Royce.
I caught
You're welcome, Rock and Robin.
I caught Ron Boudreau. He did a drop on some music, and he claimed that Jimi Hendrix. This is why I'm bringing it up for you, Royce.
Okay.
His favorite album, he claims, and I'm pretty sure I got this right, is "People, Hell, and Angels."
Great
How do
album.
you like? Yeah,
I don't have it. I've got about 25 Hendrix albums, not even counting, say, the 8 box set is 8. I count that as 1, and the Woodstock is a
right,
3 album. I count that as 1. Live in Maui is a 4 album. I count that as 1. So
right.
I don't know how many individual, but I don't. What's the name of that again?
It's "People, Hell, and Angels."
Right there.
Why don't
There
I
it is.
have that? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to break it out and listen to it.
Oh,
I caught half of it. I had to leave
George,
just as it was hitting the top.
yeah, it was
George-
one of
Yeah.
the early when the Hendrix family started re-releasing. This was one of the first ones they re-released. This and
Yeah.
Okay.
the first Rays of Sunshine, I think it is.
Yeah, I have that one. Yeah, George Peter, love you too, brother. Thank you. James Watson, so no kiss. Definitely kiss.
Here you go. Let's see if we can get you a kiss. There you go. That's close as we can get.
Close as we can get. That's close enough. Caitlin
Yeah.
Stoddard and Alice Cooper. Caitlin is a huge Coop fan. Huge. I don't know a bigger. I mean, I'm a big Alice Cooper fan. I can't wait to get his new album. I've listened to it online, but I don't own it yet. But I will be getting that. Let's see. Just the facts, man. Ozzy has. Let me put this up. James remarks that we'll go get a sharp pencil thrown. Angela. Just the facts. Ozzy has 2 songs on the chart again since his death. Crazy Train. I could totally see. And Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love both those songs. You've all heard me say this. When Ozzy did Mama, I'm Coming Home at his farewell concert, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. I mean, they'd pan across the audience and people were crying, and they didn't care. I mean, 45-year-old guys hugging each other crying. I mean, it was a life-shattering, altering spectacle. Let me tell you, it was something else. I'm so glad he was able to do that because the previous 2 years, 2023, 2024, he was doing nothing but canceling tours that he had set up. So he really toughed it out to do that, and you could feel some of the pain. You could feel some of the pain in his voice. And you can feel happiness in his voice too. But I mean, I knew it was starting to get to it. Where do you want me to go, George?
Back
Peter?
up one to George P. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to know that.
There was a
album name.
bootleg with Jim Morrison and
Morrison
Jimi
and Hendrix.
Jam. I think I have the vinyl. Oh my God!
Yeah, please name that
Ah,
Yeah.
I'll trade you 2 monkeys and a
name. Right? I need to find out what the name of that album
two
is.
monkeys and a chubby checker surfing USA. Or was that Twisting USA? Twisting USA.
Twist again.
I
Like we
just
did
watched
last
Ozzy
summer.
sing "No More Tears" live in '92 from San Diego. Yeah, I used to love that video. They played on MTV like 20 times a day. A girl was crying in a room, and the room filled up with water, and pretty soon she was submerged in her tears. That was pretty damn good. I saw an old interview with Ozzy. The interviewer asked Ozzy if he listens to Justin Bieber. Ozzy replied, "Who the fuck is he?" I love that.
He's some spoiled Canadian kid.
Is he? Is
Yeah.
he in Canada?
I heard
Well,
he just did a concert where he came out and he wanted everybody to sing with him, and since they didn't, he walked off stage, and that was the end of the concert.
Look at this.
A lot of PO'd
Junior
people.
Johnson met Alice at the airport in Toronto. No, I thought Bieber rented a accessory dwelling unit from Diddy. Bad joke. Scratch that joke. Dr. Rick, I have that boot. It's awful. Is it really? That's a
Is
Morrison
it?
Hendrix. Yeah, Dr. Rick's a big Hendrix fan. If anybody would have it, I'm a big Hendrix fan too, but I hadn't heard of that one before. I have that boot. It's awful. That's a shame. Sorry to hear that. Okay, listen,
Yeah.
Sweet Junior.
Oh, you heard
Sweet Junior.
we lost another icon today.
You're talking Lonnie Anderson?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, we heard about that. I heard about it before the show started. My wife told me.
Yeah.
And she was married for a while to oh God, what was his name? Burt Reynolds, right?
yes.
I thought so. I'm from the Detroit area since seen Alice a bunch of times in the early 70s. Well, that's awesome.
Oh, Stephen, that's horrible.
Unfortunately, it was Alice from the Brady Bunch. You got me. Bieber is from
Sarnia, Ontario. Yeah.
Sarnia. Okay. Thank you, Knucklehead. Appreciate it, brother.
Actually, talking about Bieber just popped in my head. I remember, what was his 21st birthday, whatever birthday, he inherited 200 million Canadian, but they did a roast on him. I think it was on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
He got destroyed.
Oh, is that right?
It popped up because you guys are talking about Bieber, but yeah, I remember seeing that.
Douglas Gilbert. I never really knew that either, but I've been seeing little things lately, but I didn't really investigate it. They were on the wrestling show. I saw something just like yesterday and the day before with them at a wrestling meet.
I used to like WWF when I was a kid, but I got no respect for it anymore.
No, I never really had
running
respect.
it. I don't mind the product, but the people running it and everything about it,
Yeah. I never really, me and some of my friends went to a couple of them. They'd have some at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and there was a big riot in there during one of the shows. The popular champion, and it was all fake. We all know that. The popular champion lost, and they tore that damn Las Vegas Convention Center apart. Oh my God,
Well,
I couldn't believe it.
You can say fake, but maybe scripted because the injuries a lot of those people took were real. So
when you're getting a chair smashed over your head, and you're diving off the top bar, and
So I would call it scripted, not so much fake.
Well, no, you can definitely get hurt, but it's not like real. I mean, it's not like watching UFC boxing.
Well, no,
there are two people that seriously want to knock each other out.
Nobody expects it to be that.
These wrestling matches, the winner is known before it starts.
Well, of course, it's a show.
It's a show.
Some people like to go watch music. Some people
I had a friend
go to the races.
George Maestas, and he really enjoyed those. He really couldn't find anybody. I used to go with him once in a while to Las Vegas Convention Center. It was the two of us there when they had that riot, and we're ripping everything off the walls and everything. It was crazy. I used to like the old school wrestling, but haven't followed it in years. Yep. Same here, Rockin' Robin.
Last time I really watched wrestling was during the Attitude Era with Stone Cold,
Austin,
Rock.
Yeah. Right.
Oh wait, you're about to bitch slap the Rock? Is that what it says?
And that's what Dawson says. Royce is gonna bitch slap the Rock. Yeah, that's right. I think that came up at Caitlin's. She was trying to set up a fight, and I was going to be one of the participants. And she was picking the guy that was going against me. Kind of pissed me off. Friend, you turned out to be Caitlin. Some people like watching concerts. Some people like watching sweaty men in tiny shorts roll around the ring with each other. That's great.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
I like concerts.
I like concerts.
it's made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Caitlin, yep. Stephen. Well, okay, folks. We've been going now for a couple of hours. 6 or 7.
Close to it.
Not quite a couple, but anyway, we're gonna close her down. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Really appreciate all you guys, man. Love you guys. The show would be nothing without the chat that we have. Let's see, and then we've got Chris Elliott to thank, Novice Nick to thank, Michael Jackson participated greatly in the chat. Really appreciating. So it's yeah, moonwalked and everything, you know.
Yeah.
I used to be able to moonwalk. The things I would do to try to entertain my kids back in the day.
Oh, sure. Using your kids as an excuse, huh? You were just doing it because you're having fun now. Come on now.
Well, I was having fun. I won't lie to you. I was having fun, especially when I started getting good, you know. I even started to do a little bit of that forward thing. That was really hard.
Yeah.
Okay,
see, when I was a kid, it was
folks.
more like the robot kind of. Yeah.
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 Well, you know, Michael
Jackson's
ranch Neverland is only about an hour away from here. You know, Santa Ynez on the way to Santa Barbara. And I've checked that out a couple of times. Anyway, so all right, guys. Thanks so much, everybody. We're gonna sign off. Last chance to hit the like button. Get to that 50 magic number. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Nick.
You're welcome.
And we are gonna sign off now. And that's what's happening in Royce's world today. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Oh, you're welcome.